Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Peña here, once again with another video, and this is going to be my, similar to what I did with the Avengers Age of Ultron video, which is the Ant-Man Easter eggs and references you may have missed on your first viewing. You might have got some of these, you might not have, so make sure to watch the whole video, but do not watch the video if you have not seen the movie, because there will be massive spoilers in this video, and I did make a bit of a mistake in my Avengers one where I didn't say there'd be massive spoilers, I said there'd be some spoilers, so people sort of got some misconception about what that meant, so I did get some complaints in the comment section, but please listen to me, there will be some spoilers in this, and possibly some major ones, depending on how you take the movie. So if you're going to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, leave any comments, and subscribe if you're new. If you have seen the movie, make sure to leave any comments if I've missed any Easter eggs out, because that lets me know that I made a mistake, and also tell me if you agree or maybe disagree with some of the references and Easter eggs I list. So let's get straight into it. And the first one may not be that much of an Easter egg, but it is definitely a reference to Hank Pym, and this is the 1989 scene right at the beginning of the movie. It literally gets straight into the movie with this scene, because I thought there'd be some form of intro, but I thought it was another trailer, and then I realised, holy crap, this is the actual movie. So this is the 1989 scene between Peggy Carter, Howard Stark, Carson, he's a SHIELD agent, I can't remember his first name, and also Hank Pym. Now the scene involves Hank Pym basically storming in, and he finds out that SHIELD have actually been trying to figure out or trying to get a hold of his Pym particle formula, which obviously allows the shrinking and stuff like that, and also shows some vision of Hank Pym as the Ant-Man. It's really choppy imagery because it is like a 1989 secret surveillance footage, so it's not like now where like it can be like really decent quality. It's back then in 1989 where computers cost $1 million, or maybe not $1 million, but you know, computers weren't that advanced, and so was imagery and stuff like that. But we do see Hank Pym like fighting. I think they look like Hydra soldiers. Correct me in the comment section if you've seen the movie. I thought they were Hydra, but I might be wrong. The next reference involves Darren Cross, aka Yellowjacket. Now, while he's actually referring to like the Legend of Ant-Man, I think he's in a room trying to sell like or pitch the idea of his Yellowjacket idea to some people, one of which was a certain member of another organization, which I'll get into. But while he's explaining it, he says something along the line of Tales to Astonish, which is a major reference to Hank Pym's first appearance as Ant-Man, which is in Tales to Astonish number 35. Now, after Ant-Man, the Scott Lang version of Ant-Man, might I say, defeats Falcon, he says to someone over the line, "I really don't want Cap to find out about this." Now, could he be talking to Sharon Carter? Maybe she's the communication between him and the group, like the SHIELD, the higher agents of SHIELD, might I say. Also, where's Captain America? Because Captain America was leading that new Avengers group, so shouldn't he be at the base? So where the hell is Captain America? And this could be speculation, he may be doing something along with Civil War, but we'll get into Civil War in a sec, but there's something to think about. Now this is the reference that a lot of people were looking forward to, and this is the Spider-Man reference. Now when Falcon is, this is towards the end of the movie, now when Falcon is looking for Scott Lang, his contact, like trying to find the people, asks him to be a bit more detailed about the abilities of Ant-Man, because there is a guy who, and I quote, swings around and crawls and walks on walls. So this is a major reference, obviously, to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man, Lockdown. I was really hoping that we get Spider-Man in the end credit scenes, but that's not to be, so we'll get into those in a second. But there's the Spider-Man reference that a lot of people were looking forward to, and hopefully you guys picked it out. Next up is that we have the mid-credit scene, which is after like all the colourful credits that you see with like the actors' names and stuff coming up, and this involves Hank Pym giving an upgraded Wasp suit to Hope Van Dyke. Now, early in the movie, the actual Wasp suit that Janet Van Dyke is wearing, it doesn't look it just looks like an Ant-Man costume, really, with wings. I think it had wings, so it doesn't really look anything like the comic version of the Wasp costume, but this one that Hank Pym gives to Hope looks exactly like it, maybe a bit more modernized, but looks really, really similar to the one in the comics, so that was a really, really cool, I guess you could say, Easter egg, because you really do have to sort of read the comics to know that that looks exactly like the one from the comics, so there's the Easter egg, I guess. Now, the end credit scene involves Captain America and Falcon and finding Bucky. He's all like tied up and like beat up and stuff like that. And they say some other dialogue, but I can't remember at the moment. So if you have not seen the movie, I don't know why you wouldn't if you're going to watch this video, but you're going to see it again. Maybe try and listen for that bit because I missed some of it. But essentially, the one quote that I do get is that they can't tell Tony Stark, but Falcon actually knows who to call, and in this case it's Scott Lang. Now they're not wearing their superhero outfits or the superhero suits, might I say, so they're in just casual attire, and they find Bucky Barnes, so I'm not too sure. This might be throughout the events of Civil War, so this might actually be a shot from the Civil War movies, just put at the end of Ant-Man to sort of tie them in and tie Ant-Man into Civil War, but we'll have to wait and see until that movie actually comes out. Now, when Hank Pym is giving like the mission to Scott Lang actually name drops the Avengers about like the whole mission being a bit too dangerous for him. So he just says, "Why don't we just call the Avengers?" So there's a nice little hint that they could be working with the Avengers later, and that Ant-Man obviously has that connection to the Avengers later on. But there are a few Ant-Man Avengers connections throughout this movie. Now, one of these cool ones that I found pretty funny, which was they have an assault where Hank Pym essentially wants to get this device. I can't remember what it was called. It was like really small and it was to put on a computer board. But it was in the Stark warehouse and he thinks it's in there. He thinks it's still the Stark warehouse, like an old one. But it's really funny when they get up into that airplane and Scott Lang drops out and he's going down on the ants. He realizes that they've turned the old Stark warehouse into the new Avengers base. So it's obviously told to get out of there, but he goes in and involves the whole Ant-Man Falcon confrontation. But it's pretty funny that Hank Pym didn't update his knowledge of it, but it's also cool to know that the Stark warehouse turned into that Avengers warehouse, that Avengers base, because they probably referenced it in Avengers Age of Ultron, but I completely missed it at all. So pretty cool to see that whole Stark Avengers connection once again. Connecting Age of Ultron and Ant-Man again, Hank Pym actually references the events from Age of Ultron, which involves the whole cities from the sky thing, or cities falling from the sky. So obviously that Hank Pym isn't too fond of the Avengers, but he understands that they obviously are trying to do good. Another thing that we get in every single Marvel movie, which is the Stan Lee cameo. I honestly hadn't seen him, and it happens right at the end of the movie as well. I was like, oh, finally. I thought, where the hell was he? And this is obviously his cameo is himself as a bartender in a flashback. He doesn't have any lines. He they mimic the voice of, I think it's Michael Peña or something, or Peña. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I think he's talking and basically just mouths over Stan Lee talking, so you don't actually hear his voice, but you do see him. Now the microverse is actually introduced in this movie, but they don't call it the microverse, and I think they actually just call it an alternate realm, but this could be leading to the negative zone. Sorry for my voice breaking there, but the negative zone in Civil War, possibly for holding prisoners, but we'll have to wait and see, because it is a bit of a big leap, but it is possible. This could be like some form of hint at it. And the last one I have, unfortunately, I tried to think in my head as much as I could of them, but there are massive hints at Giant Man, which is obviously like the reverse of Ant-Man, but it's still Hank Pym, but obviously in this case it could be Scott Lang, and this involves the little discs that Hank Pym gives Scott Lang to make things either shrink or grow, and they there's throughout the movie multiple things grow. One of them is one of the ants, which doesn't die either, so that's really interesting that the organic material can actually grow and live, unlike the testing that Darren Cross was trying to do, where they were shrinking and turning into like pink pussy mess. It was really disgusting. I don't know what it was, but they grow and can live, so that just hints that Giant Man is actually possible. They just have to work it into the suit somehow. And also he grows out of that alternate realm into his normal self again, because he's obviously atom size, and I can't remember what the word they use is, but he's really, really, really small, and he goes into that alternate realm, where Janet Van Dyke apparently went, and he was able to get out of that, which obviously leads to Hank Pym thinking that Janet Van Dyke might have been able to get out of that, so she might be in Civil War as well, but obviously a bit older, like Hank Pym's age, but he believes that she might still be alive, so they didn't say that she's definitely dead, so she might still be alive, so we might see her in a later movie. But obviously this could just lead to Giant Man being in Civil War, and multiple things. As I said, the ant, the Thomas the Tank Engine train got enlarged, and that was pretty funny, getting chucked down, and just his eyes was continuously moving throughout multiple scenes. And also the tank that Hank Pym had on his keychain was actually just an actual tank that could, if you just pour the little thing on it, or maybe he had one of the discs in his pocket, just chucked it onto the tank, and they were able to get out of that facility, the Pym Technologies building, might I say, before it blew up. So that was a pretty long explanation of that Easter egg, but really, really cool. And this movie was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. I was one of the ones that was always positive about this movie. I know a lot of people were like, "Ugh, it's Marvel. Ant-Man is a really minor character," but I don't believe Ant-Man is a minor character. Like, they could have put Hank Pym into Age of Ultron, and he'd be a major character, because he's the one that invented Ultron in the comics. So I think it was still a big movie. I think Ant-Man's still a big character, because he was one of the first Avengers, along with the Wasp, who was still one of the first Avengers. So in Avengers Infinity War, I think we'll see the Wasp, I think we'll see Ant-Man, and I think they'll be major characters, because I believe they are major characters. And I think this movie was still very good. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be not going to beat Avengers in the box office, but at my screening, it was 10:30 a.m. in the morning in Australia on a Thursday, and I think 3/4 of the cinema was full, which is amazing for a Thursday. Fair enough, it was a Saturday on a 10:30, and you'd be disappointed with only 3/4 full, but on a Thursday, 3/4 full, and the ages ranked. There was like a 5-year-old and there was like a 7-year-old watching this movie. I could not believe it. People still love Ant-Man. People still want to see these superhero movies. If you label a superhero in a movie, people go see it. So, good movie. Recommend seeing it. Even if I've spoiled some stuff in this video and you weren't too sure if you wanted to see it, still go and see it. Try and find these Easter eggs. Try and find some more. And yeah, I loved it. Probably give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, I think I'd get it. And funny, action-packed, good superhero movie, good references into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and finally got that Spider-Man reference, the first one in the cinematic universe towards Spider-Man. So as I said before, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, leave any comments for Easter eggs and stuff like that, and subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.